Hello, my name is George Denson, and I'm going to be an instructor for Kenpo Arnis. What we've done is combined modern Arnis and Chinese Kenpo. The first thing I'd like to do in this DVD series is thank 3 people. And then after this part is through, I'm going to do some explanation, explain to you a little bit of basics of what Kenpo Arnis is. Now during this part, watch it one time and then you can always just go through on the chapters. The first person I'd like to thank is Mr. Grand Master Bram Frank. Then I'd like to thank John Stover, Sijo John Stover, who is my instructor in Kenpo, and also I'd like to thank Tom Pateri. The first person I'd like to thank is Grand Master Bram Frank. Bram Frank is the founder of Common Sense Self-Defense Street Combat. CSSD-SC is based on simple things. In reality, all your skills that you learn and train all these years are going to go out the door. All you have left is gross motor skills. Grand Master Bram Frank has tucked in the basic system of knife and made it real simple into a modular system. So today some of the stuff we're going to be doing is a modular knife system that we've basically tucked and made into empty hand. It's real simple. If you ever have a chance, you better go train with this man. Next, I'd like to thank Sijo John Stover. Sijo Stover is my instructor in Kenpo Karate. I've trained with him several years, including all the way back to the 1980s. He's took several different styles, including Kenpo Karate and Tai Chi, and also Arnis, and put them together to make one incredible system. Last but not least, I'd like to thank Tom Pateri. Tom Pateri is the founder of CDT Training Incorporated, a non-deadly force way to train in martial arts and also protect yourself and those around you. I would highly recommend you could train with Tom Pateri. You can visit him at www.cdt-training.com. This is a system that you need to be doing in your martial arts school or in your daily life. It's a way to protect you and your family, and I highly recommend Tom. He has done so much to help me in my life, as all 3 of these gentlemen have. They've all 3 combined together to make me what I am today, and hopefully I'll be able to show you some of those skills today here on this DVD. As the DVD says, this is called Kenpo Arnis, and basically what I've done is Kenpo Karate for the last 25 or so years, and about 12, 13 years ago I started studying modern Arnis. I studied under Datu Shishir Nakala, Grand Master Bram Frank, and of course the famous Grand Master Remy Presas. Professor Presas took my martial arts to a different level. The way I try to explain Kenpo Karate and modern Arnis together is, I have a car that's a sports car. It's a great car. It's awesome. It goes real fast. It's the best car on the road. And then what I did was I put a turbocharger on it and I supercharged that car and it will fly. That's what Kenpo did to modern Arnis together. They made one incredible system. That's what modern Arnis did. It said, okay, here's Kenpo. You move around, you got all these strikes, these kicks, these punches. Kenpo and modern Arnis coming together was just incredible. And it's made everything I've done work together. Kenpo was a great system in itself. It flowed, it moved very well, but it was lacking a couple of things. One was the way we moved. We didn't exactly move the way we probably should have, sometimes moving. Modern Arnis, being the system it is, teaches you the flow. Professor Presas always talked about the flow. Having the flow makes you a lot better. So when you take Kenpo, which is a circular system, and you take modern Arnis and put the 2 together, you have a turbocharged supercar, and it makes it incredible. I'm going to just demonstrate a couple of things, very simple, with Sensei Ben Brooks. Sensei Ben Brooks is my top student. He's my protege. He's been with me for the past 10 or 12 years. And I basically can't get rid of him. We've all got those students. So what happens with Sensei Brooks, he's going to just basically come in with a number 1. And the basic number 1 in Kenpo, and this is just for example, would be like a punch or something like this. In our Arnis, we come around with our strike or something like this. And so what we do is we have our 1 coming in here. We just come in, we step, and we do a strike like that. Now if we put our sticks down, the same thing translates to Kenpo. We're here, we do our roll and strike. But now we have an understanding of where it's coming from. Thank you, sir. So basically what I've done again is taken Kenpo Karate, modern Arnis, put it together. It works really well. It's a really great system. I think you're going to have a lot of fun with it. Okay, there's something I want everybody to understand about Kenpo. Kenpo, the style we do is not traditional American Kenpo. This is a Chinese style Kenpo. It's a little bit different than some of the other styles, American Kenpos or whatever. They're great systems. This is what I happen to practice, just like if you practice any other style. If you don't practice martial arts at all, this is going to be an easy system for you to follow. One of the things about Kenpo Karate is it's based on 50% hands, 50% feet. And I've always heard 50% hands, use your hands, block, kick, punch, whatever you're doing. You know, 50% feet, you're kicking, then you're blocking with your hands or whatever. My theory in the translation is 50% hands and 50% feet means you're using your hands for your strikes, your blocks. Your strikes always become part of the block. The 50% feet is not necessarily the kicking part. 50% feet becomes the moving part when you're moving around, stepping in, stepping around your opponent. If you're stepping in, if you're coming in with a strike, if you're coming in with some kind of block which ends up in a strike, that is what 50% hands, 50% feet means to me. So when somebody says their style is 80% feet and 20% hands, they may mean kicking, 80% kicking and 20% hands. Our style, 50% hands, 50% feet, where you're using your hands and your feet have to move with you. And if your style has that kind of movement in it, you may be thinking the same thing. Let's go ahead and get started on talking about what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking and showing a lot of empty hand. Everything's going to be empty hand in this DVD series. Kenpo Karate is based on a circular movement. Okay, so basically what happens is, Sensei Ben's going to step into the picture for a minute. Let me explain to you our style of Kenpo. What happens is, in most styles, when a punch comes in and I do a block, and we'll be teaching back fist in a little bit, when I do a block or a strike or whatever, a lot of styles tend to pull back. Our style of Kenpo is based on, as soon as this attack comes in, as soon as the attack comes in right here, we continue on. Okay? Thank you, sir. So in our style of Kenpo, what we're going to do with Kenpo Arnis is we're going to blend the two together. And we're going to be working on two parts and two ranges of motion as far as open and close, and then two parts of inside and outside. You can be either inside the body or outside the body. In a real fight situation, in real life, you have no control unless you're doing the attacking, which is a totally different, because most of the people, when we're doing defending and offending, we're trying to defend ourselves from attack coming in. If you're defending yourself, you don't know if the person, you can't tell them, hey, the punch, I want you to punch at me like this in a real life situation, when they may be just coming in with a full street punch, round punch type situation. So what we're going to be doing is, the situation is, if it's an open part, a closed part, in or out. Hopefully you'll be trained good enough that when the punch comes in, you'll know how to react. That's all you can do. You can do your best. If you get hit, it happens. What you do afterwards is going to be most important. We're going to hopefully make it where when the punch comes in, you know how to react. So first we're going to show you open, closed, and on the inside and outside. Sensei Ben will step back in. We're going to do it from just a straight punch comes in here. Now at this point, the punches come in. We're going to come in and we're stepping in. If we step in, we're on the inside. It's that simple. Where the punch is here, it comes in, boom, we're on the inside of them. We may not have a choice. If we can, the best place to be is on the outside. Why? Because if he tries to grab me here or whatever, I have my locks or my step throughs. If I'm on the inside, remember this, every technique we're doing today, I'm not going to show you over and over again, he now has the opportunity to grab me for a lock, okay? He can come around for a choke or whatever. So just remember that. If I'm on the inside, he is closer to me. This hand is always closer. This is not the best place to be, but most of the time, when a punch is coming in, if it's from a street situation, I'm right here, okay? So I may be here. If it's a round punch, look how the punch is coming in. I'm right here. I cannot help the way I am. If it's coming from the around here and I can step the outside, bam. This is where I am. Look where I'm at. Look at the targets I have. I can go through. But otherwise, I'm in trouble because I'm here. I haven't thought about what I'm going to do. He's got me here. That's why I'm going to teach you to work a lot on the inside. Modern Arnis, if you've worked with Modern Arnis, it's already shown you that. If you work with other styles, the trapping. JKD is one of the best systems to do this. I highly recommend some of the other styles you do. Wing Chun is great at this. All this stuff translates. The stuff that we're going to do today becomes modular in the fact that Grand Master Bram Frank has took the knife system and made modular. And we're going to do the same thing with empty hand, a basic, easy to learn modular system where you can just go and flow through it. The other part, if the punch is here, now this is where I can give a lot of credit to Grand Master Frank. Open, closed. If the punch is here and my hands are here, I may be up in a situation like this. I'm open where I can move in, okay? That becomes my open part here, and then we go to our horizontal part. That's where eventually we'll be doing some techniques. If you've got a gunting or you know training with a gunting knife and the trainer, this is one of the great things we do. So again, here, I'm open and I move in. If I'm a closed position, I'm here like this and I can't get into it, I've still got my moves where I can step through. Okay? If I'm here and I'm like this, I'm closed, I can still move in here. I can strike and do my techniques. So that's where the open and close is. I, again, recommend Bram Frank has a lot of DVDs out. If you watch his DVDs with knife, stick, any of them, they translate real well, and this is what this is going to do. And so I highly recommend you get those, and I highly recommend that you just have a good partner to train with, and you take everything we do today slow. We're going to talk about stepping now. I'm sure that you know how to step, but if we have a wide angle here, stepping is real simple as far as you go one way or another. But in reality, when a punch is coming into you at full speed, you don't know where to go. So basically, you just want to step one way, real simple, or step another way. Or you step out of the way this way, or you step out of the way this way. You never want to go into somebody unless that's the last resort and you're coming in for a strike like this. Okay? So Sensei Ben, we're just going to show you some simple stepping techniques. If a punch is here for a reference, all we have to do is we can do what's called a basic brush, and we can step in and block, and we step to the side. So I'm here, I'm just brushing out of the way, and stepping to the side. Notice each time I have my hands up, get used to having the hands up from here, brushing, stepping to the side here. If it's on the outside, I'm just coming, stepping here. I'm on the side. You know, I'm continuing through. Here, on the outside. So I may be going here, 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 here. And if you do some kind of Arnis style, you've still got your sticks there, used to the step. The other part I did was I'm basically stepping back. I may be stepping back this way. Because if the punch is coming in slow, I may be able to step out of the way here, which gives me long range. Okay? Or I'm here, and I'm able to step maybe for my turn as I'm turning my opponent. So those are our basic 4 ways we're going to be working on stepping. And again, as I said, you may have straight in, which works, but that's just a variation. You're not usually going to go straight in like this. So your variation becomes stepping to the side, comes over here. I'm able to step back out of the way for my strike. Or maybe I'm stepping out of the way here because I'm going to do a throw or a takedown. Keep in mind, if I have this person here, I've got him to think about. I don't know what's behind me, beside me. I have a wall behind me here. It's great. But in a real-life situation, I may have to take this guy to the ground, or I may have to step to the side because I'm worried about the people around my surroundings. Think about all these things as you're training. We're going to take the basics of Kenpo and start with the most basic techniques, the back fist. Over the past few years, I've realized a lot of people don't do a back fist. And it's one of the simplest techniques to do, and also most important because anything you do with it, you can basically roll into something else. Okay, our style of Kenpo really relies on the back fist. Sensei Ben is here. Again, what I want to be able to do is, as soon as this makes contact, we do something that's sort of related to a sticky hand type situation. If he pulls back here, I want to be able to follow him or step in and do some kind of trapping technique or something. A lot of styles will pull back. You don't need to pull back. The best thing you can do, people say, well, I don't want to be grabbed. If you're grabbed, you know where your opponent is. If his hand is here, I know where his hand is. I know a couple of things. Number one, what is the range that we have to work with? He's right there. He's about 2 foot away. I know how long it's going to take me to get in. I know how he feels. Right now, if he's pushing on me or he's done a power strike here, I know what that feels like, so I have that to work with. So as I come in here, this simple technique right here has taught me a lot. So the back fist, I'm going to put his hand right here. The back fist is a simple technique. What we do is, in our style of Kenpo, we have a ray. And it's sort of, we start out like this because this becomes a block. Here, boom, just like that, back. It's great to practice on a bag, comes in and back. From here, you notice my hand is rolling. I'm not hitting with this part. I'm not going bone to bone. You never want to do that anyway. I'm going fatty part of the arm to fatty part of the arm. Okay? And what happens is I go here. It's just real simple. And the wrist is going to roll a little bit. It's like a reverse knocking. It's going here. So when I go here, it goes like that, just a little bit. And I can also, we do open hand techniques off from it. From here, if I step in, I come in here and you see a shot to the head, it's rolling. Just so you know, you never want to go bone to bone on any technique if it can all be helped. In reality, street, all that information, you know, goes out the door. I don't want to take and hit this part of the body. It hurts bone to bone. That's where empty hand comes in real well. Hence the term empty hand. Here, that's going to hurt. But if I roll it, then I'm hitting with this part of the body. I'm still getting the shock. I'm still getting the shock here. And look, right here, fatty part of the body. Brain, this guy's got a hard head. Tell me, he's got a real hard head. Boom. So the back fist comes in here. That's when we start to do our techniques. That's a basic back fist, and we'll work a lot of techniques off of that. I'm going to show you another basic blocking technique that comes off if you're open or closed. It's called hide and go block. It's real simple. Somebody comes in, gross motor skills. Bram always teaches his hands come up here. In this situation, we're going to drop down a little bit. The hands are going to come in front of our face. We want to protect our face. The body comes in here. Then we can do our strikes or whatever. In a real life situation, at best, we can hope that a punch comes in and we can step in and block it a little bit. In our situation, we want to hunt down and destroy that block, cut through it, and hurt the person. So if Sensei Ben is going to throw a street punch from here, my hide and go block technique comes here. And it's perfect working with him because he's a little bit taller than I am, just enough, and look where his punch is coming in. It's perfect. I recommend you work with all different kind of size people. Had a guy the other day that was about 6'2", and I was getting really good at this technique, and I was practicing, and the punch come here, and I go, okay, whack. And I'm going to tell you, if you don't get hit in real practice, you're either not doing it good enough, or you're really, really lucky, because sometimes it's okay to get practice, in practice get hit because it's a wake-up call. So the punch comes in here, I'm just going like this, and basically hide and go block here. So I'm blocking my face and keeping my hands from coming in here, and I can do my technique. From a side angle here, as it comes in, I'm here. I'm blocking here. Because this stops the person as I do what may be a cut or a strike. And as the punch comes in a little bit, wham! I'm coming right here. It comes in, wham! I'm striking the person. I'm not just putting my hands up here. I want to destroy this arm. I don't want this arm here anymore. As I do my next technique, it comes in here, wham, wham. Okay? I don't want to just stay here, go light, so it's here. So in, boom. And your hands might not be covered perfectly, but this allows your hands to be on the outside again. You're not going bone, hitting here and hurting. You're here and this rolls. And any time you roll a technique, if I can roll here, I put more pressure. Put more pressure here. It does the strikes. It pushes down. The punch comes in, boom. I step in it here. So even at a little bit more of an angle here. The punch is here. My hand is here. Okay? My face is covered. It's protected. I'm able to come in here. If he pushes me, worst case scenario, I'm covered here. But I'm not worried about this punch coming in. My ears are covered. My head's covered. You get here, it's a dangerous situation. The punch comes in, wham. Okay? From a side angle, he throws it with a little power, wham. Okay? I'm like this. I'm stepping into my person. Comes in again, wham. Now, as we learn to step through more, we can do it and shock the body a little bit, push it down. Punch comes in, wham. You see the body drops. That allows the head to come up for the next strike, and we do our next technique. And that's basically hide, go block. Now we're going to get at some basic application drills. Drill number 1 is real simple. It shows basic circular rotation, gets you used to moving into the person, moving out, gets your arm used to moving in. Sensei Ben is basically going to work off a punch, and you notice we're usually step side. You can be this way or this way, and if I don't remember to say it again, don't hit me. If I don't remember to say it again, practice on your left and right. Obviously for the purpose of the video, so we don't make it twice as long, we're going to do it usually on one side, but it can be done on both sides, and that's why I practice it. What happens is your partner can start very simple here, and we're just basically going to do 2 rolls, 1, 2. I do it open hand. Again, this is basic clockwise motion, 1, 2. Okay? Clockwise for me, counterclockwise for him. Here, 1, 2. And what this teaches me is the hand, the sensitivity of the hand coming around, and the other hand's going to be here for a check. And what I like to do, usually I like to be open hand, tight hand, but for the practice of the drill, I like to just be loose and relaxed. Obviously in a real life situation, you don't want the fingers grabbed. You should know that. But for right now, we're just practicing here. Okay? Now, on the other side, same way. 1, 2. 1, 2. Counterclockwise. 1, 2. And from that drill, I can do it counterclockwise, clockwise, whatever. Sensei Ben, we can do it. Then I go 1, 2, I punch back, he blocks 1, 2, he punches back, 1, 2, I punch back, 1, 2. And we're not really learning a lot about blocking yet. It's just a basic coming up block here and moving out of the way. Again, if my hand's punch is coming in, I may be stepping in for my technique. This is teaching me what? To get in here. Why will we ever roll twice? Trust me, eventually it may happen. But more importantly, we're learning sensitivity to a roll. Then we can do our steps, our locks, our moves, pa, 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 whatever. Just having fun. Learn this. 1, 2. I start again, other side. 1, 2. Then he could do it the same way. Okay? So it all flows together, and that's basically drill number 1. Drill number 2 is going to involve circular rotation once again, but then we're going to step in and learn some stepping techniques, basic stepping techniques. Sensei Ben is here, and the punch is going to come in slowly here. What I'm going to do is do my block, wrap 1, 2, and step in. Notice my feet. Notice where my feet are to his. Okay, I can step in more as I practice, but basically I'll start out here. 1, 2, 1 or 2. 1 or 2. 1, 2. Okay. Now, I want to warn you, which I didn't warn on the first part. This is a shoulder. It's attached. This is our partner. He's a friendly person while he's training with you. Remember, payback ain't fun. So I don't want to go 1, 2. He's not want to train anymore. And it's also not going to teach you the part of the drill. If I do this too fast, I'm going to end up over here. Right now, I just need to learn the basics. Okay? That becomes another technique. 1, 2. You can work on trapping better. You can move in tight here because that gives us a groin shot, a leg shot, or whatever, or to the back, to the kidney area. 1, 2. Step in. Okay? If he's straight on to me here, like here, the punch comes in. And if I'm straight on to him, 1, 2, I'm stepping here. This pushes in a motion where we can step and do our other techniques and step out of the way. Okay? From this side, punch comes in, 1, 2, and I step. Okay? It gets us used to when we're eventually doing this, we're stepping in here. But right now, we're just trying to get the basics down. So we're here, maybe the punches come in or something. We have to step in here. Okay? So we can do our next technique. But we have to start out with the basics. 1, 2, and we step in. Can we step to the outside? Sure. Why not? Practice that. 1, 2, step to the outside. That becomes a takedown. Okay? Practice it, but just remember, this is a basic drill. 1, 2, step it in. Because it's okay to be right here because I still got my kicks, my step, my inside strikes. I've got all this still here. And that's basic drill number 2. Drill number 3 is going to be done counterclockwise. Sensei Ben's going to step in. What's happening is the punch is coming into you. Here this time, we're going to work on this way. 1, 2, punch. This hand, always open. Or at least always here. If you do this, this is okay if that's what you do. I do open hand. 1, 2, move in. You notice I move in a little bit. 1, 2, boom. I'm right here. If his punch comes up here, I've got to have that for protection. If his elbow comes up, I've got to have that for protection. As you get advanced, remember, basic. As you get advanced, you'll be moving in. Boom, moving out. I'm on the outside for my next strikes. But to start with, let's just remember basics. What's going to protect you on the street? The basics. You're not going to remember coming in here and going 1, 2, whack, ta, 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 get all fancy. We're going to remember on the street, simple, basic. 1, 2, boom, right to the rib cage. And this is just teaching you moving in. Where could it be? It could be anywhere. Look, 1, 2, I go groin strike. 1, 2, I go Bram's high line, up strike up here. Still got my check here. Okay? 1, 2, I step, strike here, and come back. But the basic drill originally teaches us 1, 2, strike. Okay? And eventually, as you get on working, we can do this in some kind of drill where I go 1, 2, strike. He blocks. He pulls back. I strike. 1, 2, I block, and here. Okay? And I check. All right? That also teaches this person to start moving their body a little bit. But for right now, the hand is here. We've done our block. We may be in this situation, maybe here, and we've come on the inside. If I've come on the inside, I may be stepping to the outside. If it's come to the outside and I've stepped here, I'm able to come here and step. Boom. And go for my next technique. For right now, 1, 2, bam. Or 1, 2, bam. Remember, in a real life situation, this punch may be way out here, and we have no control where we're going to be, and we have to force that here. And we're right here. Maybe that's the only shot we've got. We're in so close we can't do anything else. That's the basics of drill number 3. Drill number 4, again, is another counterclockwise drill where you start to work on stepping. And what's going to happen from here, Sensei Ben's going to come in, and I'm going to do my 1, 2, just like before. But this time I'm going to have to step in. Okay? So for the simplicity, what we're going to do is go 1, 2, and we're going to do a grab or a lock, and we're just going to come and step under. Okay? This gets you to move. And what this drill is teaching you is 1 move here, okay, and stepping in. As you step in, you have to learn to control that hand. So it comes in 1, 2, translation to here. Okay? Depending where I am, is depending where I'm going to mess up. If I mess up here, I'm in trouble. So if I come in 1, 2, step to the outside, now if he punches, I've got a little bit more range of motion. Okay? So what happens is we come in 1, 2, hands rotate, and this is teaching a couple of things. The camera can zoom in here, right here. What happens is my hand is here. I've come up. I've got my rotation. 1, 2. Now, as I roll, this palm is up. I can go for a grab, or I can just go for a simple lock in here. Because this is a break. This is a basic arm break. Everybody knows those. But I can also just lock it up, because this is going to get my lock. And my technique becomes important because I come 1, 2, as I step to the outside. And I'm way out here. And this hand is pointing at whatever. Dropping and breaking that, whatever the technique may be. Okay? So if we go back out to a wide angle, we're going to come up here for a little bit. So the drill would be 1, 2, step, boom. Okay, and that just comes to the outside. In reality situation, you may not be able to hold on to this. It may come here. That's okay. We've got a step-out technique. Now what we can do, which we'll do a technique a little bit later on, we'll work on the grabbing part and locking. So it comes here, 1, 2, the grabbing part and locking. From there, we step around for our takedowns that we learn in our normal classes. Okay? Again, we're going to do that just so you can practice that later on. 1, 2, we're on the outside, the hands come here. Okay? I can still do my other techniques. But if we go 1, 2, and we roll, we lock, we step, we can do our other techniques here. He fall down good. The next technique we're going to do is a favorite in Arnis and in Kenpo. It's a sneaky snake technique. And we're going to do it out of what we call a crane. The crane comes up. It's used for breaking the wrist, sniping the arm. Whatever the technique may be, this is coming up. We can use a basic trap here. We can come up here. We're using it to get out of the way. If a street punch is coming in, wham. We've got that technique here. We can step in for our strike. But let's go back to the basics. Punch comes in here, roll 1, roll 2, roll 3, roll 4, just to get that movement. And then, of course, then we go here, like this. So first thing we're going to do, the punch comes in here. The camera's sort of close on this so we can see. We're just going to come up and roll 1, 2. And we end up on the outside this time. Okay, again. 1, 2, 3. We're on the outside. Okay? If we do it this way, counterclockwise, 1, 2, look, we're on the inside. If we look at this angle from here, again, we're just coming up. This automatically implies a roll. I'm just going to go slow. And I'm in here, right in here. Okay? So in real-time reality, this becomes the move for a grab. These fingers are locked in here, okay? So the camera zooms out now. We're going back. We have the shoulder shot, and we're coming in here. It's coming in 1, 2. We're able to move and step in. Okay, our other side, 1, 2, and we can move in. Okay, then we're going to do a little drill with this. Okay, I'm going to start out. We're going to just sort of call it slow. I'm going to start outside, doing the counterclockwise. He's going to punch to the other hand. I'm going to go counterclockwise. I'm going to punch here, counterclockwise, or clockwise, here. He can go here. If I punch with this hand, he can go here and block. Okay, if I come back with the same hand, here, and now let's see if I go with it goes with the right hand. Okay, he punches at me. Okay, I can go here. I can go here. I punch. I punch. Ah, you didn't know I was going to punch, did you? He punches back at me. Okay, and this just gets us teaching that sensitivity. And now, as we get going on it, what we want to do is we want to do the same thing from the crane, but as we go into the crane to block here, we start to go open hand more. So the punch comes in, crane, open hand. He punches, crane, open hand. Punches, crane, open hand. Punches, crane, open hand. Punches, 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 punches. Whoa! Okay? That's where it gets fun. Now, from here, when we do this, remember, this works, which comes to our next technique, okay? But really remember, when we're going here and he punches, this can get caught up. He punches here. This punch is coming in. This punch is coming in. That's where the circular becomes really, really, really cool. Crane, punch, 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 punch. I punch. He punches. I punch. He punches. I punch. He punches again. And you get the idea. The next drill involves a crane strike, crane block, moving in. The punch comes in. Boom. We're going to block, roll it out of the way, and strike. This will eventually help you with your back fist and your moving in drills. The punch comes in right here or right here. If we get a close-up on my hands and it's going to move over, the crane comes in here. We're going to use it to push down, and we roll it here. We can go here, but again, this part of the brain is a little hard. This guy's hard-headed anyway. We can move down, but we need to make this quick as possible. So we come here, we roll here. Or we go here, and we roll here. Or we try to go to the temple here. Or if we can get in here, here. Okay? One of the things that Tom Pateri taught me was a very important thing about reality. In reality, if you're knocked out and you're on the ground, you can't fight anymore. You're out. The other thing, the most important thing that Tom ever taught me was you can't build up these muscles. If you can't build up these muscles, then they're a good striking point. Very intelligent man, very intelligent idea. Here, okay? So we got a little bit wider shot now. We're here, we come up, here. So it looks like this. Like that. Here, 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 here. Notice they're quick. Like that. I'm going to use my trap now. Boom. Here, here, because then we can come in for other strikes. So the technique comes up, block, roll. I've got to learn to move in, got to learn that trapping part. Here. So now we've got a wide angle, we've got our feet showing here. Punch comes in, roll it, step. Here, here. And because we got this here, those hands come in for those other locks, we can do our strikes. The next technique is as follows. Sensei Ben's going to come in, and we're going to work on back fist. The back fist comes in here. What I'm going to do is simply push it down, and return with the back fist. At this point, he's not doing anything. I'm just practicing moving in. Back fist, move it in. Back fist, move it in. Because remember what we said about we never want to come in and just pull back. So at this point, we're coming here and moving in. Now, in reality, do I need to move in? Practice? No. But we practice as we practice on the street. Because in reality, I can come here and I can reach Sensei Ben. But in real, if he just moves a little bit, I'm out of range. So I want to get used to stepping. Because now, in reality, as he moves back, I'm in range. Range of motion is the most important thing when you're doing a technique. Because if you do a technique here, and I come out here and he moves out of the way, and I've seen people in schools train like this, where a punch will come in here, and they'll practice it here, and I go, well, here's the technique, boom, and it's in here. And then on the street, and they punch, they stop here, okay? That's not what's going to happen, in real life. So we need to practice as if for real. So here, what I'm doing is, and the camera's got a wide angle of the feet and the hands. So what happens is I move out of the way here for this, which is like that cross, I'm going to have to slide in a little bit. So it becomes here, boom, okay? Here, boom. Now what happens here, this is where a lot of people have trouble. And it's real simple. If I've got to move this and he's strong, and I'm trying to force this, in reality, he may be coming through or whatever. In reality, I may not be able to push that, but we're going to go against the body, and that way it'll turn in. Notice I'm pushing in. This is where Soki Stover's training comes very important, especially if we need to use the hips. We don't just use our arm. If we just use our arm, it's throwing us out of the way. Okay, it's going here, I don't have the strength. But if I turn my body into it a little bit, look where it goes. So from here, I'm moving in. If I just go here like this, and we're arm to arm here, and I try to push him, he's really strong. Okay, I can't get that, he's pushing against me. But by pushing it here and pushing it across, I may not be able to do. But if I go down the angle of his arm, look what happens to his body. That's exactly what I want. So if I'm here, boom, and I'm moving in. Here, boom, moving in. Let's do it from the other side so you can exactly see what's happening here. I come here, if we're here staying like this, relaxed, back fist comes up. Here, down, back fist comes up, okay? Here, back fist comes up, okay? You practice each way. So now this time here, boom, I'm moving in on him. Here, I'm moving over here. So now here, I'm rolling to my back fist. Here, rolling to my back fist. Now I may not have to step up, I may have to step up a lot. But that's just basically a rolling back fist. Now from the drill, what I want to do slowly is I'm going to push it down and come back with a back fist. He's going to block. He pushes it down, comes back. You notice we're not really moving here, but I'm still having to move out of the way. Body's moving a little bit. Now, if you want to get into this part, I can slide in, back fist, and move out. He slides in, moves out. Slide in, move out. Slide in, move out. Slide in, move out. Slides in, moves out. That just gets you used to using that basic of techniques, the back fist. The next technique we're going to do is off from a back fist, slapping right into a punch. Since that bend comes in, the back fist comes in, I'm going to slap this down and just roll right into a punch. Okay, so from here, boom, come straight up. Now, again, you don't want to go to the face, the cheek, that's going to be a little harsh on the hand. We can go to a slap or something. So just work on your target, boom. All right, so we're going to start out slow here. My hands, check hands here. The camera's going to come in for a close-up. What we're going to do is we just simply, from our back fist, if we're right here, locked in, we've got our lock here. We just push it down, roll it straight up. Okay? This hand's still here because we've got our check position. We can do our moving in and things like this, so we're going to roll it down, roll it up. Here, boom. So if it comes back out to our wide angle, now you can see from shoulder to shoulder, as I'm here, I just push it down and it rolls the punch right in. So from here, this. It's real quick because you're not making a lot of movement. You don't want your opponent to be able to see a lot of your movement. Just move right here. And especially if I'm stepping off line, it's here. If I was at an angle here, you can see a little bit more of a direction from here, come in, straight in. Here, straight in. Right to that cheek. Angle right in here. On this angle here, if it's open hand, right into the cheek. Here, 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 straight in the side of the neck. Now the drill comes, so you can see both sides of this. We work a drill off this. We're going to go real slow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use a check hand. I'm going to take my back fist, push it down, punch. He checks it. He meets it with a back fist. He pushes down. I check it. I bring my back fist up. I push it down. He checks it. Back fist up, push down, I check it. Back fist comes up, push down, check it. Okay, see the drill? At this point, if I miss my check and I'm able to bring that hand back up, I can roll it. Then I can still follow through. And that's basically doing like this. That becomes more of a rolling hand technique. From here, if I push it and roll it, he can bring his arm back. Then he can just push down again, here, and I'll roll it up here. Here, roll it up, roll it up. And that becomes just getting your hands moving in on that. Okay, the last drill we're going to do for this is the simple trap back fist, basic Kenpo drill. We can apply a lot to it. And again, we'll get into the modular techniques and other stuff we can do with them on the next DVD. Back fist comes in. I trap it, do my back fist. Here, boom. Here, boom. The camera comes in close. I come in here. This right here is going to keep me from getting hit, I hope. This hand comes in, gets it out of the way. The hand is here, the back fist. Boom. That's where that rolling back fist comes in. We have a lot of variations we can do off this. We can do our chops, we can do our strikes, we can do our rolls. So it's here, boom. Okay? Now, if the camera comes out for a wider angle of the feet, I'm here. I want to be able to move in. I've got my hand here. I trap, I move in. Okay? It doesn't matter that he has that arm there because I have an elbow drop, I have a lock. Okay? So here, boom. Notice I'm always moving in. Because once I'm here, I've got this checked. I can still come through and do my other techniques that we'll get to on the other DVD. Boom. Again here, boom. Now this is where your other hand work comes in. When this comes here, the other hand naturally wants to roll into it. You can also go here, bam. Both techniques work. I generally don't pull back because why? From here, boom, I've got this already. I'm right there. My opponent can't move in that quick to counter. But if you do this, bam, that's a lot of power. And look, you have the elbow back fist technique. Okay? So from here, boom, right there. Or from here, and generally what we do is we may try practice this drill here. We're relaxed. He's got to learn to block. Okay? Now, again, if you're going to do this all day long, you can't be going like that because you're going to be hurting. Here, boom. Here, boom. Okay? Here, boom. Now, of course, he's letting you in. Beat on him. Be nice. I'm going to go here, bam. Now, as a drill, and you take this drill slow or your brain will fry, I come up here. I do this. I block, check. He checks me. He comes back up here. He's going to do that trap. He goes here. I come up. Same thing. Down, here. Here. He comes down. I check it. This gets used to me doing this. Here. Boom. And then, of course, you can do other drills with it, which is nice. Those are the basic drills on back fist, your circular techniques. They'll help you be able to get used to hands moving together, strikes, and things like that. This concludes the first DVD of Kenpo Arnis. We really focused a lot of basic things on trapping, getting used to hands, getting used to motion. This is the Kenpo part. The next part becomes the Arnis part. The next part is going to be where we're going to start putting applications together with the blocks and punches that we do. So it's going to be really exciting. You're going to actually get to use, this is sort of a theory type training aid, and now you're going to actually have applications of how to use this, so it's going to work really well. So if you've only got this first DVD, you better get the second one. I'm Master George Denson, and I'll see you on DVD number 2.